Hey everybody, it's Heiden, and I'm back with a turn 5 strategy discussion. So we're looking at the end of turn 4 right now. This is the state of the game before I sent the files off to Italian. And this turn was kind of a mixed bag for us. There was some good stuff and some really bad stuff. And I kind of wanted to discuss it because there's a lot going on here. But I think we should start in China and just kind of go over the situation there because there's some good stuff going on there. So let me first explain to you what I'm seeing here. So this turn was good because I just opened up this rail line here, which means I believe next turn, let me see. Next turn, we're going to be taking Changchao. And what that's going to do, let me line back up on this. What that's going to do when we take this turn next, take this base and push these guys out, it's going to open up the rail lines all the way down to Hankow. And that's going to allow me to flood in a lot of aviation support and engineers to quickly build this base up. I like this for me. So I usually don't get this rail line secured for a long time. So having this open by turn 6 is going to help me get this base set up and get more bombers in here, more aviation support, and air HQ so we can prosecute the campaign in this area. So that's a good thing. Like I said, we're going to take this base and this base back next turn. We'll also look to open up the rail line here in 2 turns. That'll be good. At Wenchao, I'm still waiting for reinforcements. I have another mixed brigade coming in that should help. These guys are recovering from that disastrous shock attack that didn't go anywhere. And I believe next turn I can get these guys moving back for another bombardment of Wenchao. So I'm going to have these battleships come back in, give it another try, and hopefully we can get in there. Also, I have all the troops into... Why do I have these guys on reserve? Well, that's not good. Oh, I need to fix that. Hold on. Ooh, that was a close one. I'm glad I did this. I didn't have these guys all in the right mode to attack, so I just updated the turn and sent it back to Italian. I don't think he had a chance to work it yet, so basically what was happening here is I left half my combat power on reserve and it wasn't going to attack. Anyway, we're going to hit Hong Kong this turn, attack. I don't think we'll take it on the first turn. I've only done that once. Most of the time it falls in 2 turns. I've got the bombers from Canton doing a ground attack on that. Hopefully we can get it, because I have the bombers at Takao doing something else. And that something else is an all-out ground attack on Clark. So let's talk about the Philippines right now, because we have a lot going on here. He has evacuated Manila, and he put everything into Clark. So based on my math, he's slightly overstacked here. I don't know how much that's going to help us. But he's overstacked. But we're about on parity for AV, about 900 to 950. I don't like attacking on ×3 terrain with that despair without having a lot more AV than that. But because of stacking limits, that's all I can fit into the hex. If you look at this, we're at 36,000. I really can't get much more in there. And having lost my armor last turn, they can't be much use to me. So I got 2 divisions attacking here against his mangled troops. But remember, everything in Manila had a chance to recover a little bit. So I think we're going to take heavy losses on this first attack. But I have multiple divisions that I can rotate in and out. And he doesn't. So we initiate the attack on Clark next turn. And every available ground bomber I've got from Formosa will be taking part. So everything is hitting Clark ground attack to add disruption. And I've also moved additional bombers to Vigan and San Fernando to also attack on the ground at Clark. Every bomb that hits the troops there will add some disruption, which would hopefully help us on the ground attack. More disruption means better chance for my AV to do some good. Because he has abandoned Manila, completely abandoned it. And I know that he has because there's no troops here. We have recon on there, and I see that there's 28 units here. I've checked the last turn files. There was 13 before. So all of them moved in here. So Manila is free for me now. I'm going to do a couple things here. I have paratroopers landing here to take it immediately because I want this thing captured next turn. And I can drop a small parachute fragment on here and take it. I'm also paratrooping on Antimonon because I'm attacking his last Philippine Army infantry division at Lucena with my 3 SNLF units. It's going to be a shock attack. Hopefully I ordered that correctly. Let me see. Nope. Ah! Oh, well. That could be okay. We'll just hold off on here for one more turn. This could be fine because that'll give these guys one more turn to rest. And then I can include bombers attacking these guys next turn because we're definitely going to have to rest at Clark. So that's okay. But we're going to take this base and this base, which traps these guys here so they can't retreat when we do attack, which obviously is not next turn. Okay. I don't really have much to comment on Burma and the upper part of northern Malaya. That's just pretty standard stuff right now. I was able to get a lot of additional aircraft into Kuching. We have one full Betty squadron, basically one full Zero squadron, which is great. Some Nates additional, and a Mavis unit. So Kuching is very useful to me right now, and I've got supply landing there to keep it going. We're working on the airfield. So this base is going to become very important. It's going to keep vision on this stuff. I've got recon flights flying all around. Last turn, we trapped Italian here. Really good cap trap. So what I did was I sent an invasion task force with battleships and everything down to Kwanton to land this infantry regiment. And I put long-range cap from Kotobaru over this hex. So as expected, all of his bombers flew from Singapore, and we did a lot of damage to them. We shot down a lot of bombers, as you can see. Wildebeest, Hudsons, Blenheims, Weirways, and Swordfishes. That was really good. In addition to that, I also sent my #1 Zero Squadron. I brought it over from the Philippines because I don't think I need it there anymore. Right? I brought it over here to Kotobaru, and we swept Singapore, and just like I thought he would, he had cap up, and we decimated them. I mean, we absolutely shredded them. This is the first time I've ever seen a kill-death ratio like this. These guys lost 0 pilots, 0 aircraft, just 1 ops loss, and shot down at least 23 aircraft, if not more. I think it was more than that, so it's underreported. So that was great. So we've basically eliminated all fighter aircraft from Singapore. There's maybe a few fighters left, but nothing that can really hurt me. So with the air power reduced here on Malaya, it should make things a little bit easier now. On Mindanao, situation's great. What I'm going to do here is I'm loading up the 65th Brigade, and we're going to land here and trap these troops. I see a move arrow moving towards Butuan. He's trying to back himself into this corner here, but it's going to take him about 5 days to move there. So we can land here next turn and attack in 2, and that should eliminate essentially all remaining resistance on Mindanao. We've got some troops here and a little bit of troops here, and these 3 bases, to my understanding, are not occupied. And then Mindanao will be completely secured for us, and we can move on to the Dutch East Indies over here. I don't know where Boise's at. It's somewhere around here, but I don't know exactly where. I do believe he's hiding out in an island base somewhere in here, because that ain't it. I don't think that's it. And I think we would have seen him with my Mavis scout planes. I think we would have seen him going somewhere else. I have what appears to be a tanker task force of some sort here. I'm peeling off 1 destroyer to go after them there. All right, so that's all cut up there. Now let's talk about the big story for this campaign, and where I'm kind of in a bind here, and I really need to compliment Italian on this. Yeah, anyway, so he was somewhere here, so I believe it was somewhere around here. I didn't see him, even though I have naval search that covers that area. So let's see. Okay, about there. About there. Okay, so he is 1 hex over. my estimate, because his carriers can move 18 hexes full speed. So he has Enterprise and or Lexington there. Enterprise and or Lexington there. They full sped in quite a bit further west than I would have expected him to do in the Gilberts. And he sank 4 ships out here, including a really good AMC at Ocean, and a couple patrol boats and an AKL. One of those had troops loaded on board, so I took some troop losses there. This is a very aggressive move for him. I didn't think he had it in him. I would have expected him to maybe show up somewhere right here and attack shipping. I had split stuff up into smaller task forces, expecting him to do something like this, but I did not think he was going to full speed this deep into my lines. And honestly, that's a problem for me because a couple reasons. He's now in the midst of every ship I got that's formed up right now. Okay, so what I've done was I told these guys to unload their troops immediately. Get these troops unloaded so that we can at least save the troops, and if not the ship. I had an aviation battalion on these. I split them up into 4 task forces and have them going to the nearest available bases just to unload the troops, because I fully expect to lose these 4 transports next turn, which sucks. I like these patrol boats. They make excellent high speed. What do you call it? They make great fast transports for me. So losing those is painful, and they cost a lot of victory points, right? Each one of these is 10, I believe. Yeah, so that sucks. But I need to save the troops. So they're going to dump these troops off, and if they die, they die. The bigger problem I have is I had a lot of ships at Tabatuea. Okay, I had like 7 or 8 destroyers, 3 light cruisers, and some minesweepers. So here's what my plan is on this. And there's actually more issues on top of that. He has recon on Tabatuea because he hit it with the Louisville, which is retreating here. Okay. And he's got detection, so he knows I have ships there. So I expect him next turn to order a port strike on Tabatuea because he knows that I have ships there. So I did not want to sit there and wait for it. So here's what we're doing. I've taken these ships and split them up into multiple different task forces trying to escape. I made them escort task forces so they'll just run away. I don't want them to engage. These guys are going to run. These guys are going to run. These guys are going to run north to Jaluit because, I mean, might as well try, right? These guys, though, these 4 destroyers I have set up as a surface combat task force, and they're going to make a suicide run on the carrier task force here. And the hope is that they get in contact with the enemy carriers, and these enemy carriers decide to disengage, which they oftentimes will do. They don't want to fight. So I'm thinking these destroyers can get in here, do a night torpedo attack, and scare off the carriers, and they'll start retreating towards their home base, which I believe to be Pearl Harbor, which will knock them out of position to fight, and buy time for my other ships to get away. Now, these guys, there's nothing I can do about them. They could keep going this way, they can go up north, or they could fall back. He could even fall back. I don't know what he's going to do, but he's in a bad position for me. And the other reason is that I had multiple transports here with a lot of valuable troops moving in multiple directions. Like they're heading south, Tulagi, Shortlands, you name it. And there's important stuff on here. So I have them full speeding basically as far away from the enemy carriers as possible towards Rabaul. Because I don't know if he's going to keep pushing west. He very well could start pushing west and go straight for Rabaul, with him thinking I've got nothing there, and put me in position to get hit. So if he does push further west, I do have a plan. I have zeros here. I have about 30, and I've got more on the way. And if necessary, I could actually fly off GIGABYTE bomb zeros. They're within range to make it to Rabaul. So if he's going to keep pushing this way, I could set up one heck of a cap trap for him, and he wouldn't even see it, really. So if he does push further west, we will bring in GIGABYTE fighters now, it's still a bit further north, but I can fly them off and get them here, and we can have over 100 fighters to intercept a raid. All right, that's fine. My bigger concern is if he pushes further south. So Rabaul to here, well, it's technically feasible, I could fly zeros from Rabaul down to Noumea if I needed to, but my problem is I don't have a lot of supply here, right? I was getting supply convoys ready to head down here, but all that got scrubbed when these carriers got here. So if he continues south towards Australia, I actually consider that to be a problem, because I have my battleships, heavy cruisers, and a lot of destroyers down here that have no real air cover right now. So what I'm really hoping for was that this was just a little probing attack. He's going to reap his gains and get back out of here. I want him to leave, so I have time to get everything in order, because I'm not ready to deal with the enemy carriers this far west from the Gilberts. Like that, I knew he would probably come in here and do some raiding. I did not expect it to be this aggressive. So I will give Italian some props for pushing this far west, because it really endangered a lot of stuff, right? It put Rabaul at risk. It put these guys at risk. It put all of this stuff at risk, right? All because of 2 task forces. It can go any way, and all of it's going to hurt me now. So it's definitely... He's got my king in check, and that the only way to save the king is to give up my queen, if you want to use a chess analogy. So good for him. Let's see what happens next turn. I'm really hoping he just retreats. Anyway, the last thing I want to show you is that I do have Betty's and Mavis bombers operating out of Noumea. And there's a lot of enemy shipping that we've sighted, right? Here, here, and here. And I'm sure there's more coming, right? We got tankers, transports, more tankers, more transports. So I've got a couple, a heavy cruiser and a destroyer heading down here to interdict these guys. I've got these guys on naval strike. And in case all that fails, I still have these 2 AMCs over here that start in the deep South Pacific, like around here. They're heading this way to see if they can engage as well. And we'll pick off some of these ships as they leave Australia. I don't think I'll get all of them, but I'll get some. So hopefully we get into combat next turn and shoot up some stuff. And hopefully his carriers just fall back towards Pearl. That would be the smartest, the safest thing for him to do. But again, I don't know. Anyway, that's a strategy discussion for turn 5, because... yeah, there's a lot going on. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm enjoying this campaign. I know that there is a skill disparity here. I recognize that. He's made some pretty big mistakes, leaving aircraft on the ground. The way he's defending here in the Philippines isn't really great. But I understand why he's doing it too. Because if I take Clark while he's stuck in Manila, that's even worse than the configuration he's got now. So I guess this makes more sense. If you had to pick the lesser of 2 evils, I'd rather stand on Clark than Manila, but it just cuts off any chance of supply or anything. So we'll see what it does with it. Wish me luck, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.